Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. So a few days ago in Canada, the internet, it went bye-bye for millions of people. It was such a big deal, it's now got its own wiki page. Rogers Communications outage. This happened on July the 8th, which is an interesting date, which we'll get onto in a moment. This outage affected 12 million users, and they still have problems, I believe, 4 days later. Although the majority were back on, still 12 million users were completely shut out from being online for a good 24 hours. This event, it says here, nearly every facet of life had been disrupted, with the outage affecting internet access, cell phone and landline phone connections. Some callers could not reach emergency services via 911 calls, police across Canada said. It shut out banking, hitting the country's cashless payment systems and Air Canada's call centre. Public transport was affected and government access was not available for millions, drawing outrage from customers, etc., etc. Now, the day is an interesting one, as this happened on July the 8th. This is the same date that Cyber Polygon, the World Economic Forum's cybersecurity training meeting exercise, it's the same date that was supposed to take place, but it was later postponed. It's interesting when these things happen, because it's only then you realise how people have allowed themselves to become so completely reliant upon the internet, whilst at the same time the puppet tyrants and their puppet masters are trying to push people to have everything, their entire way of life, banking, digital IDs, cashless system, every service you can think of, health service, access to money, to buildings, to venues, you name it. Everything is being pushed into the digital realm by these control freaks. This is where they're trying to lead you. And all someone has to do then is pull the plug, and boom, everything you need is gone. It's crazy. Here's a clip.
Across the country, a desperate search for a signal, the day thrown into turmoil.
I woke up and I thought maybe I haven't paid my bills or something like that.
My schedule's usually jam-packed. I've got, clients and things all the time, so I'm sure a lot of them need to get a hold of me and can't, so it's kind of a little bit worrisome for sure.
Untethered from the online world, people sought an internet oasis anywhere they could. This library north of Toronto was swarmed by those who usually work from home, so many that they overwhelmed the server.
For 2.5 years, I never experienced something like this, but there's always a first time.
The Rogers network went down early Friday morning, wireless, cable and internet, affecting every corner of Canada. At this pharmacy in Fredericton, work ground to a halt.
My ability to process prescriptions, ring people through the cash register, answer phones is completely non-existent at the moment.
The ripple effect meant payment systems like Interac were down. A major hit to the bottom line for some.
I'm just a little small fry down here, but there's lots of small businesses that thrive on tourism, and we have a short window.
Police warned Rogers customers could have trouble calling 911. And some hospitals asked staff to come in for on-call shifts. Others redirected patients. For travelers, there were problems with the ArriveCan app, and airline call centers were down.
Look at this situation. Apparently, we are all connected, depends on the internet right now. That's really scary.
Yeah, that's right, mate. It's really scary. Why? Because you put all your eggs in one basket. It shows you how fragile people's connection is to everything in this digital age. And yet, this is what the governments, the UN, the World Economic Forum, and the bankers, the money lenders, this is what they are trying to push into or onto everyone, or everyone into more and more, making everything, every service digital with the 24/7 surveillance on top, the social credit score, the cashless system. It's the digital trap, which I've mentioned countless times. This is what these control freaks are continuously pushing us all into. Are we all going to become slaves to whether or not we're allowed the internet or not? This internet that's caught us in its worldwide web. I mean, now in a rational, normal world, where say you had leaders who actually cared about the public, who were benevolent as opposed to malevolent, they would say, oh, we've become too reliant on the internet. We need to have a resolute backup system in place in case the internet gets switched off. So we are not reliant on being connected online all the time. And that backup system needs to be resolute and always there in case something goes wrong. Okay? And a backup system across all services and industries for instances like this. But oh no, that's not what you're getting, is it? They are going the complete opposite way. They are trying to eliminate all of those backup systems. Because why? Because they want you totally reliant on the internet. So you are in the digital trap. It's interesting that this happened on that Cyber Polygon date. Could this be a test run? I don't personally think these control freaks want to turn off the grid. I don't think they want to switch off the internet. They have so many people hooked, addicted to the media and controlled by it. I mean, switching it off for a long period of time may snap people out of the spell. So I don't think that's what they want to do, but I'm sure it could be used as a backup plan for things when they're not going to plan, something to do as a last resort. So this could well be a test run to see how people react to it. Whatever it is, it just goes to show how the more self-sufficient you are, the better. You know, I foresee a time where the internet will not be accessible to certain people, and I'm going to estimate I could well be one of them. So if you're like me, you may as well get used to the idea of being switched off, so you're mentally prepared for such a situation and you're ready for it, and you can plan ahead for such a time.